Hi, this is Suzan McDowell, President and CEO of Circle of One Marketing. Welcome to my show, In the Circle with Suzan, my biweekly show where I get to interview people that I think are interesting here in the South Florida community. And of course, I never disappoint. So today's guest is going to be as fabulous as all my other guests. It is almost summer. I was out the other day and it was so hot. And so now, when it's turned, when you realize you can't stay out like past, 10 o'clock in the morning, can't walk outside. That's where we are now. So the summer's coming up. It's going to be my birthday soon. So I'm excited that the end of spring is coming to an end and summer is starting. So today, my guest is Gail Nelson, President and CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters of Miami.
Hey.
Yay,
How are
welcome.
You, Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome to the show. So I'm going to start the show like I always start. And this is mainly because I get nervous. So this is really for me to calm down. Exactly. From my heart to stop beating. Anyway, to slow down. Okay, so Gail, we're going to start at the beginning. So it goes like this. I was born, and then what happened?
I was born in Lincoln, Nebraska.
What? You were born in Nebraska?
Lincoln, Nebraska.
Lincoln, Nebraska.
Yes. And
where's Nebraska in the world?
It's in the Midwest.
West. I knew that.
And so that's a key piece in terms of my journey. When I was born, my mother named me Curtis Anthony.
Curtis Anthony.
Now, you just introduced Gail Nelson. So
I did.
What happened, Gail?
When to get to Curtis, how do we get there?
And now that's my cousin's name.
Curtis Anthony.
My cousin is Curtis because my daddy got there. Bryan Memorial Hospital, Lincoln, Nebraska.
Okay.
And says that is not Curtis Anthony. My boy is going to be the next Super Bowl champion, Heisman Trophy winner, football great. That is Gale Sayers Nelson.
Wait, your dad renamed you in the hospital?
My dad renamed me. He was a trip to
in the hospital.
In the hospital. So
the name got passed down to your cousin.
The name got passed down to my cousin Tony, as we call him, but Curtis Anthony. My auntie Quilla's son is now Curtis Anthony, his full government name.
Uh-huh.
But my daddy was a huge Chicago Bears fan. So Gale Sayers.
In Nebraska.
He was military police and Air Force.
Okay.
And so my dad, Omaha, Nebraska, Lincoln, Nebraska. So my dad gets there late. That was a pattern. But nevertheless.
Who among us?
Yeah, who among us,
almost didn't make it today on time.
It's all right. You're here. We're here, sister.
I made it like that.
But so he changed my name. He was a big Chicago Bears fan. And so now, obviously,
wait, I'm so sorry. Is Gail a big baseball reference?
Gale's is huge.
I'm supposed to know that.
So let's just go ahead.
So now it's even more poignant. I'm so sorry, sir. I am not a sports person.
Well, Gale Sayers.
I grew up in Jamaica, so we didn't have any baseball.
Huge. Hall of Famer.
Okay.
Now watch this. Have you ever heard Billy D. Williams?
Of course.
Okay, thank you. So now that we're in your...
Do you know where we're going to? Do you like the things that life is showing you? Do you know?
Check this out. Billy D. Williams and James Caan were in a movie called Brian Song.
Okay. That was a long time
Billy
ago.
D. Williams played Gale Sayers in the movie.
Oh, okay.
Gale Sayers, who passed on, I think, about 2 years ago.
Gotcha.
NFL Hall of Famer.
Okay.
Chicago Bears.
Okay.
My daddy was a big Chicago Bears fan.
Black man?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So
Not
one
that
of
I could be named
the
after my
OGs.
wife, but I was named after a brother. Yes.
Gotcha. Well, okay, good. All right. So he was a great and he was a brother.
Yes.
Perfect. That sounds like you.
And he's also he's a member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. And so I did not know that clearly as a baby.
Oh, you didn't know?
And so now being a member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, named after Gale Sayers, another brother.
Yeah. That's
so
full
another
circle.
Kappa. That's good. So
life is a circle.
That's where it started.
Mm-hmm.
Parents divorced when I was 2.
So you're in Omaha.
Lincoln,
Nebraska.
Daddy was stationed in Omaha, Nebraska, my dad. And born in Lincoln, Nebraska. Parents divorced when I was 2. I didn't see my daddy again until I was 18 years old.
What, 16 years?
16 years. And I found him.
Oh,
wow. I saw his military photo.
Uh-huh.
I look at that photo and I'm thinking, wow, I look a lot like that guy.
Wow.
And uniform, like, okay, I want to meet him.
You saw his photo where?
In the house. My mother had the photo.
So you just didn't know who that was in the photo?
Well, she told me, so that's your daddy.
Okay, got it. So you're looking at him like, I look just like him.
No doubt. It wasn't just like a random photo. I mean, I see this military photo. And
Yeah.
I'm like, that's your dad.
Yeah, well.
Didn't work out with us. And so she was so cool with it. She never, ever put me and my brother.
So
I'm the baby boy.
It's so important.
It's so important. So she kept adult business where it needed adult. But she gave me some context. That's your daddy. I said, do you have his phone number? Yes, I do. I called and I called and I called.
18.
Yes. I started before I was 18 making these phone calls. Got him when I was maybe 17 and some change. He was in Oakland, California. Had a construction company.
Wait. How'd you follow that trail? Why did it start?
I just called him and I said, well, this is Gail. And so he'd answer the phone. This is Rick. And he had such charisma. And
is that where you get it from?
Absolutely. I'm my daddy's child.
I was going to say, it always comes down to right down the gene.
The apple did not fall from the tree. I say that humbly, but I tell you what, I would call him and I said, where do you live? And just wanted to, it was weird. Said, hi, I'm Gail. He knew exactly who I was.
He named you?
He named me.
Full on was like, excuse me, other name.
Right. And I flew out to San Francisco International Airport and I met my daddy in the airport. That was a trip, Suzan.
At 18?
At 18. So imagine being in an airport, thousands of people. And I'm thinking, is that my daddy?
And you're on a different coast.
No, different coast.
You're on a different coast. Right?
Yes.
It is a different. I was going to say, you're Midwest, that's West. Okay.
That's right. And now keep in mind, so my mother, when the divorce took place and he moved to California, she moved to where she had support. Family, Toledo, Ohio, Midwest.
Oh, more. It's more Midwest.
Even more, you talk about coast to coast almost.
Yeah.
So we're in Toledo, Ohio. I fly to Detroit Metro to San Francisco. Thousands of people. Is that my daddy? I hope that's not my daddy. And boom, there he was.
Looking just like the picture.
In a vest.
Wow.
With Nelson Construction. So I see my last name on something. So
on a dude you've never seen since you were 2.
And exactly.
Other than in a picture.
And then the pride.
Yes.
The feeling of accomplishment, just seeing my last name
is on somebody's
and
shirt.
That's my daddy. But then he's like, call me dad. I'm like, okay, no, brother.
Excuse me, sir.
So let's just slow this down a little bit. But watch this. How did I get to South Florida?
How did you get to South Florida?
The Gale force winds of Hurricane Andrew. My daddy was in a construction company. We're sitting at the West Oakland Church of Christ in worship on a Sunday morning. The announcement is made. We are looking for nationwide for contractors to come to South Florida to help rebuild. My daddy's sitting next to me. That felt special. Just
oh my God!
Keep in mind the journey. I hadn't seen this brother in 16 years.
This man's
I'm just like sitting next to him.
Yay!
Just act like a daddy. Act like a daddy.
Yes.
Do something.
Yes.
Fist bump, hug me, high five.
Something. I'm good.
He said, "I'm going.
You just need this much, right?
That's all I need. I'm going to Miami, and I'm in Ohio.
But you're in Toledo.
Living in Toledo.
You're living, but you're with your dad
at the University of Toledo.
Yep.
So I'm in college.
Oh, you're in college now. Okay.
And then I would go out every spring break and all of that.
Yeah.
My daddy comes down here right after Andrew hit August 92.
I remember.
He comes down. It was late before the calendar year ended. He comes down in 92.
Like that's where the money was.
In January of 93, Super Bowl, the Dallas Cowboys beat the Buffalo Bills. That was a night I flew through Dallas and landed and came here. That's when Gail Sayers Nelson landed in South Florida. Want to rebuild a relationship with my daddy.
1992. And rebuild South Florida.
That's it. That's what began in Lincoln, Nebraska. Here we are.
It's so funny. You're like very things are very meaningful.
They are.
Like very, very meaningful. A lot of people they don't understand the meaningfulness of it, or they don't express it. I'm one of those, I want this tied to this and tied to that, because I believe it. It's true.
Absolutely.
My life has borne it out. But there's people, I just appreciate the way that we communicate. You know what I mean? Like
Suzan,
that you put words together.
But Suzan, let me tell you something.
Tell me.
It got even more interesting.
Oh, go ahead. Stop. So I'm sorry.
So the first place my daddy takes me in this, because he drove down here with a little crew, a few guys.
Yeah.
He drove a black GMC, silver and black GMC, and he drives down to 22025 Southwest 87th Avenue in Cutler Ridge.
Okay. Which is apparently where you're from?
No.
Okay.
But watch this. He drives onto a campus, a 44-acre campus. where they stockpiled lumber, all the contractors and volunteers
Okay.
helping rebuild South Florida.
Mm-hmm.
There was a place called ICARE, ICARE,
Mm-hmm.
Interfaith Coalition for the Andrew Recovery Effort.
Mm-hmm.
My first job.
Was that eye care?
Yeah.
How old are you?
How old am I?
Now, how old were you then?
Oh, okay. I was, wow. I don't tell my age now, but.
I'm like, I will never ask you.
That's why I repeated the question. Like,
I
excuse
do
me.
not want you to ask
Excuse me. We're just a couple 20-somethings plus something.
No, let me
sitting there
tell you.
talking.
My response is, how dare you ask me that? I'm a woman. I can get away.
Come on now.
The horror.
Let me tell you something. We look good for whatever we are. But look, I was at that time, sister, black don't crack. But sister, I was in my 20s. And I get a phone call.
Mm-hmm.
We want you to work to help these boys in this school.
Okay.
It was a juvenile justice funded school.
Mm-hmm.
We want you to help us here. And I'm thinking, I've been here before. The first place my daddy took me. Stockpiling lumber, but that ended up being a school for juvenile delinquent boys. I Care Bay Point Schools. And I ended up running that school.
Oh,
so I mean, so when you talk about putting it together, I didn't create this stuff. I mean, it just.
I know that's the whole point. The point is that you're not forcing it. You're not creating
not at all.
You're not manufacturing it. It's manufacturing itself.
It really is.
Yeah. It's manifesting itself. So, but I want to go back to your childhood. I want to know, like, what happened between 2 and I saw my dad in California.
A beautiful black woman that I call Cubby.
Cubby?
Cubby, Cubby. Now, why do we call her Cubby?
Yeah,
her first name is Lenora.
Uh-huh.
She born in Kankakee, Illinois, and Carbondale, Illinois. No, she grew up in Illinois. That's where my grandmother. A lot of
Midwest.
That's why I wave at everybody.
Everything Midwest.
I'm waving at everybody in Miami, and I'm still waiting for a few people to wave back.
That's so nice, too. The Midwest people are generous.
Oh, there's something about us. We own that, and I will never lose sight of that.
Yeah.
But that beautiful woman, I'm her baby boy, raised me and my brother by herself.
How old's your brother?
My brother.
I mean, not brother. No.
He's 3 years older than me because you almost got me. See, you tried twice, kind of.
I am not trying. But
you kind of went there twice.
I almost did.
I'm ready. I'm ready
I
for
caught
you.
myself though.
I'm gonna say he's 3 years older than me.
Exactly. I don't know. I'm like older.
I just texted him a few minutes ago. My brother got again growing up together. He chose the military route. So again, Daddy was Air Force.
Yeah.
He was in the Marine Corps, Desert Storm, Desert Shield. I think it was Shield, then Storm.
Yeah.
So U.S. military veteran, U.S. Marine, Semper Fi.
Yeah, perfect.
That was my brother. But what happened between 2 and 16 or 2 and 18, those 16 years?
Was Cubby. Wow.
From Hamilton, 1028 and a half Hamilton, upstairs apartment. Seeing her just make ends meet, doing what we needed to do. She's retired. She used to be a bookkeeper for CSI, Child Study Institute.
Oh, wow.
Who worked with juveniles.
I know it always. Listen,
and she would come home
every single time we sit here, no matter who it's with.
Yeah.
It comes down to like when the mayor was there, Mayor Levine Cava, who I love.
Good people.
Oh my gosh, she's the best. She told me, so I asked everyone, it has the same exact interview. I don't know. I don't read your bio. I know you're a lovely man, and one day hopefully we'll do business.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I don't know anything else about you.
That's what's cool about
on purpose, in terms of preparing for this, because I want to learn. So anyway, so the mayor's sitting right there, and I ask her the same thing. This is not an interview. This is a conversation. And she's like, my dad was a New York City councilman, and her mom was a social worker.
There it is.
I'm like, well, of course not. It makes perfect sense. So that's the point. It's like every single time somebody comes and sits here, it drills itself down through the gene pool, through DNA, through generations, through your ancestors. It really, really does. I've seen it.
And being true to yourself. Think about that.
Yeah, that's hard.
But because I didn't seek out this journey, it found me.
Yes, I know.
It really did.
Yeah, I understand.
And I'm not saying that to be all, it found
I understand.
me.
We are here on a show together.
There's no doubt about it.
Fabulous. I'm just saying that Nicki Minaj has a line in one of her songs that goes, sometimes I look in the mirror and I go, why me?
That's it.
That's what you're talking about. Like, how did I get here? Why? What did I do so special that I'm sitting here talking to you?
You know what song, to that point, when I posted about this interview?
Yeah. I
was like, what song do I put? What song do I put? And I was like, hopped up out of bed, turned my swag on.
Yeah.
Look in the mirror and I say, what's up? So the key is, that's the vibe.
Mm-hmm.
And so and the reason I know these addresses is because last time I went back to Toledo, I drove by every place.
Of course, because it was significant.
It was significant.
Yeah.
That upstairs apartment.
Yeah.
to 658 Pinewood.
Wow.
Lucas Metropolitan Housing Authority, LMHA.
Wow.
My mama got us a house.
Oh, wow.
2-story little house, public housing, but it was something we called our own.
Wow.
That blue and white house. When I drove
Where's
by
the house
there.
now?
It's still there. I drove by it, took
Do
a
you own
picture
the
of it.
house?
No. It was public housing, so we don't own it. I wish.
Oh my God.
I wish. Then down the street from the apartment on Hamilton, after school, we went to a free place called Links Neighborhood Center. We called it Teen Town. That was where my brother and I would. The older kids had the pool table. We couldn't touch that. You had to be,
Yeah.
Shorty Blue was one of the guys. Shorty Blue, they wouldn't let you go to. So we had the little bumper pool, the ping pong table, and we do arts and crafts. And Miss Jackie,
y'all were like
we
the
just
little
y'all go over there.
entrepreneurs.
But it was a place to hang out.
A place for everybody.
And you go upstairs. My first pomegranate. Why do I remember that?
Oh my God.
Because Miss Jackie, the beautiful lady that.
And that's a very specific fruit.
Yes.
In Jamaica, by the way, we call it punga nut. I
Is
don't know
that
why,
right?
But we call it punga nut in Jamaica.
But Miss Jackie, cut
Same
that thing in half, and we were like, ugh, what is that?
This?
She's like, eat it. We're like, we're not eating that.
Delicious.
But that was our first. She exposed us.
Yeah, no,
So
I mean that's a really complicated fruit.
It really was, and it's
For
ugly.
somebody who doesn't, and it's ugly. It looks weird, and it looks.
Apples and oranges is what we had in Toledo.
Exactly.
But here comes Miss Jackie, but we trusted Miss Jackie.
Yeah, of
So
course.
that was my childhood.
Yeah, you had a good childhood.
Yeah. Then I ended up going to University of Toledo.
Uh-huh.
Again, shouting out Eric Stockard. He used to work for University of Toledo in minority admissions.
Mm-hmm.
He said, Gail, I need you to apply for a scholarship. But Eric Stockard was part of that journey. James Norris, guidance counselor at Bowser High School, said, Gail, fill out the application. I said, I'm not filling out the application, Mr. Norris. He said, please do it for me. I'm like, all right. And I said, I'm getting a job. I got to take care of my mama. That was all I was thinking about.
Of course.
Did well in school academically.
Make your mom proud.
I said, I got to take care of my mom. I got to take care of Cubby. But because I trusted Mr. Norris,
Sounds like a good son.
I filled out the application.
Sounds like a lot of trust.
I trusted him.
You trusted the Mrs. with the fruit?
Oh, yeah, Miss Jackie.
And Miss Jackie, trust.
So Miss Jackie, James Norris, James Ray.
But you also, I mean, you could have chosen not to trust them.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? A lot of people sometimes they look at a gift horse and they're like, why are you talking
You know what's beautiful about all these people? Miss Jackie, I'm very specific. Miss Jackie, beautiful black woman. James Ray, white man. My former principal, my late high school principal who died my senior year. James Norris, white guidance counselor. But what's so beautiful about these men and Miss Jackie and these women in my life is they just put something in me. They believed in me. And he's like, here's a Coca-Cola We Mean Business scholarship. Fill it out.
Wow.
I filled it out.
What? But also, I mean, think about it, being an educator. I mean, I've worked with kids and stuff, and you've worked with kids.
Yes.
It's so, especially kids now, it's so hard to just make them wake up. So I can imagine if you're a teacher and a counselor or an educator and you need a success story, you want to know that you're still in it for a good reason. And then a kid like you comes along that they can see. That's like, let's put our money on him. Absolutely. I'm sure they were like, I'm going to offer him a scholarship. No.
But Suzanne, let me tell you something.
Fighting each other to give you money.
But Mr. Ray, my late high school principal, it was my freshman year. I hadn't done anything at the school.
It doesn't matter. You see, it's talent.
But he went, remember back in the day, we had lockers at our high school.
I remember.
And I'm at my locker, and here comes a principal, tall, smooth, white guy, nicest guy in the world, heart of gold. Gail Nelson, report to the office. When you hear that from the principal, what do you think everybody else said?
You're in trouble.
And I'm thinking, I just got here. I didn't do anything wrong. But when Mr. Race and the principal says, come to the office, I moseyed my own to the office. Yep. He said, you're going to do announcements with me. Ooh. I said, excuse me, Mr. Ray?
Voice.
It didn't sound like this when I was a freshman in high school, just for the record.
Yes, all right.
But I tell you what, Mr. Ray was the first one to put a microphone in my hand. From doing the announcements. He said, you're going to be here in the morning and in the afternoon. But you have to understand, I lived in the hood. My high school was out in the suburbs.
He plucked you as like a talent.
He did.
Yes, of course.
But when I would miss the 28 Brown bus, then I would have to run and tell Cubby, I got to get to the school. So she, with a little spoonful of gas, she would drive me to the school. And my first period class with Mr. Fisher, right in front, the kids would be like, run, Gail, run. It was like Forrest Gump movie or something. I'm running into the school. Here's Gail with sports. Thank you, Mr. Ray. And I would do the sports announcements. He saw something in me.
In you.
But he died my senior year. And guess who tells me that he died? My mama, Cubby.
That's what
Gale,
she's there for.
Mr. Ray died. My heart sank.
Devastated.
But his wife wants you to speak.
You spoke at his funeral?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Big memorial service.
Of course.
Mr. Ray was not just my principal. He was my voice cracks, my friend.
Oh, wow.
And last time I was in Toledo, Ohio,
Uh-huh.
I saw his son, Jimmy,
Uh-huh.
and I saw his late wife.
Where's
His
your
wife. I saw his
family?
wife.
Your
His family. Gabe took a picture, seeing Mrs. Ray and seeing Jimmy, the son. It brought it full circle, as well as my track coach, Mr. Sleevert.
Mhm.
I'm dropping names because these people were part of my journey.
Yeah, no, they're part of how you got. Listen,
Man.
we all have our own names, and it's just
Yes.
people who have really just reshaped your life that you didn't realize was going to do it. And a lot of times you have to give yourself credit for walking through the door and being like, okay, I will take a chance on myself, which is not what you're telling yourself at the time.
That's right.
It's just you're just doing it. You're like, I don't really know why I'm doing it, but I'm doing
Yeah.
it. But there's lots of people who wouldn't do it. There's lots of times I haven't done it, that I have seen something awesome in front of me and still not done it because fear or whatever. So
Right.
to your credit, to all of our credits, we walked through the door. We saw an opportunity, walked through the door.
That's
We
it.
would not be here if not. I mean,
You remember, Suzanne, what our parents would always teach us, say thank you. And
Yeah.
whenever I can, I
thank
just say
you.
I say thank you.
Yeah.
I say thank you to Mr. Ray throughout. Still get a lump in my throat thinking about him,
Mm-hmm.
thanking him for
Yeah.
I never put the microphone down. I would never put the microphone down because of him.
Because if he handed it
But
to
I
you.
thanked Eric Stocker. Took him to
Yeah.
lunch, and guess what I did? I called my mama and put it on speakerphone. She was like, "Thank you for helping my baby." That was deep.
Yeah.
Mr. Sleevert, I go to his house, my track coach. He's got my high school yearbook, class of '87. I just gave you kind of a hint on age. That slipped out. Edit that out. But nevertheless, he's got my high school yearbook on the dining room table, like saluting me.
Like
and I'm
he has your part of his life.
and I'm like, thank you, coach.
I bet that he has the same story about you. I bet if you would go to him and ask him about all the people in his life, he would be like, and then there was that young man, Gale. I bet.
It's just cool.
I mean, because think about it. Like, if you and I have some sort of intense friendship, mentorship, whatever, we are bonded.
That's true.
Do you know what I mean? Like me and Alex, my producer, Alex, me and Alex are bonded. We sit here and we do this with each other for a year and a half. You know what I mean? Forever. So just as much, and I try to remind myself that when I'm like, oh, that person doesn't like me or that person doesn't love me, that it's not true. Like, as long as two people are in that mix, you're as important to him as he was to you.
That's exactly right.
You know what I mean? And you probably changed his life.
But the world is so transactional these days. I just love
These days. That's where I'm not talking about these days. We're talking about
I
19 long
appreciate.
time ago.
That's why I appreciate
Yeah.
and name drop anytime I can,
Of
because
course.
maybe somebody's gonna name drop Gail Nelson. Gail
They
Nelson
will.
help me, and that's because
They will.
it's authentic. It's not about.
Well, you know what? That would bring us to Big Brothers, Big Sisters, because that's when somebody's going to drop your name. So you came to Big Brothers, Big Sisters, and tell me where we are.
When I think about my journey,
Mm-hmm.
and thank you for allowing me to walk through that.
Of course, I want to hear it.
As I think
Very
about,
interesting.
and I got to go back to Bay Point schools for a second, because the first thing I did when I got to Big Brothers Big Sisters in 2006, July will make 19 years
Oh wow.
for me at Big Brothers Big Sisters of Miami.
Oh wow.
I started as vice president of programs, and the first thing I did was I said I need to take care of my Bay Point boys. And the only reason I left Bay Point is that you had to be arrested to get to that school. And I said, wait a minute now, there's all these Black and Hispanic boys are arrested.
And they're only
get
the
to this
only
school.
common denominator is that they're arrested.
Correct. But you look at that school, yes, no, excuse me, khaki pants, khaki shorts, shirts tucked in, belt, look you in the eye. You drive across campus, I'm teaching them Ohio values. They're waving at everybody.
I guess where did that come from?
That model?
Yeah.
Or waving?
That model came from Mr. You just
It went right
duplicated
back.
that person's
It went right
model,
back.
right?
It went right back to the way I was raised. And
Yeah,
everybody that
it's
mentored me.
Life is a circle.
One of the first programs we started was called a double benefit mentoring program. When I was at Big Brothers Big Sisters, I said, let's get some of the Bay Point boys to mentor some kids right in Gould's. And that's what we did
That's great.
at one of the local schools.
Bay Point is in Gould's?
Yeah, Bay Point is in Cutler Ridge, but
Cutler
Gould's
Ridge.
is just adjacent, not far.
Gotcha. Yeah, I know. My family, we from there.
Absolutely.
So Big Brothers, Big Sisters. So I used to be a big.
Thank you very much, alumni.
Long time ago. No problem. I guess that was probably the start of my trying to be, participate in society days. That was one of my first things. I was like, I want to go be, you know what I mean? So, and I'm a little sister. I have a much, no, I'm sorry, don't take that back. An older sister. But you know what's really annoying about my sister is people will see us together and be like, who's older?
So
she's clearly older. And they'll be like, no, it's not.
Season.
Anyway. What was my point? What was I even talking about?
No, you think about just.
Oh, we're talking about being the big sister.
Yes,
Sorry.
yes.
Sorry. So I became a big sister because I wanted to be able to shape a young mind. And then I had a daughter and I had a business, and I'm not a big anymore, but I want to be a big.
But you're an alumni. We're gonna get you re-engaged.
And I am gonna get
good.
re-engaged.
That's
so,
awesome.
but why? Like, why? Why should I do it? Why would I want to do it?
And I tell you what, it speaks to why I got involved. And I'll tell you about my little brother in a minute. But when I got started at Big Brothers Big Sisters, I wanted to help kids before they got arrested.
Because of your experience.
Because of my experience.
Gotcha.
I'm growing up in inner city Toledo, Ohio. A lot of kids I grew up with, sadly, are either dead or went to jail.
You made it out.
I made it out.
We made it out.
Through mentorship. So it's a tribute to Cubby, my late grandmother, Viola Claypool, James Ray. So all these people that shaped me. So why not?
Turn
if
around.
not me, then who?
And who?
And so when I got involved at Big Brothers Big Sisters, VP of programs, starting programs like Double Benefit Mentoring Program, starting a Bigs and Blue program, getting law enforcement involved. Why is that important to me? Because my late Uncle Gary Claypool, Deputy Sheriff, Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department,
Comes all the way down.
mentored me in the absence of my daddy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So everything I'm doing right now
it all
speaks
comes
to my
together.
soul.
Yeah.
And so school to work mentoring, workplace mentoring, that's what Mr. Ray did for me. I'm a high school student, but I'm going to meetings with him. I'm doing pep rallies.
Yeah.
He set me up for business.
You know what? It's so funny. Mayor Gibson, Shirley Gibson, who I try to weave her into every single conversation on this show.
Her.
Mayor Shirley Gibson said to me one time, first of all, she said, I said, you know, Mayor, like, how did you do all of this? Like, how? Like, most people wouldn't do it because, you know, she fought for 7 years to have that city of Miami Gardens. And she says, instead of asking yourself, why me? She says, well, why not me?
There it is.
And that could be good or bad. You know what I mean? You could be like, how could that happen to me? Well, how could it not happen? You know what I mean? Like, why not you? So either way, my thing is, well, if it's going to be somebody good, somebody's going to get the good part. I want to be on that side.
That's right.
You know what I mean? But I remember she said, well, why not me? Like, why not me be able to do that? Or why not that thing, you know what I mean, happen? And why not you? And then she also said, you know, there's people who are extraordinary. They're just extraordinary. I'll never forget that. I always bring it up because I will always bring up Mayor Gibson in every single show. That I had no idea until she told me. I was like, really? I am? No idea.
She was special.
She was my mentor. She was like this, wake up.
I tell you what, I remember calling her. She got in my car. We drove up to Palm Beach looking at some schools and all that other stuff. Just because I was talking to her about just what I was seeking to do and all that. Just the quality time she spent.
She's awesome. She's
incredible
awesome
soul.
Yeah, she changed a lot of lives.
No doubt about it.
Mine, not even the least of which. By the way, fun fact. Mayor Shirley Gibson decided that she was going to create Jazz in the Gardens at Jazz on the Beach in Riviera Beach.
There you go.
In 2005.
Visionary.
I was like, we're in Riviera Beach. Our toes are in the sand as we're watching beautiful artists. What are you talking about, nice lady, Mrs. Mayor? And she looked at me, she's like, I'm gonna have it in the stadium. And I'm looking at her like, you are clearly, what, nice, yay. You know, I'm trying not to be rude. I'm like, okay.
Follow through.
Visionary.
Visionary.
She was like, I don't care what you say. I don't care if there's sand here. I can go do this exact same thing. I put up a stage, get the best artists, put it in my city, market it just like you marketed this, Suzanne.
Yes.
Let's go. Jazz on the Beach is gone. Jazz in the Gardens is.
There it is.
And it's all Shirley Gibson.
No doubt about
anyway,
it. But that's vision. But that speaks
vision.
Our littles don't need to be fixed. Some of our littles, speaking of the beach, live here in beautiful Miami and haven't been to the beach.
Never been to the beach.
Live just a few miles away.
Never been to the beach.
But haven't been exposed. So mentorship is about exposure. So you ask the question why.
Change the
I'm
environment.
going to lean in on this, sister. One, it's exposure. 2, fundamentally, our kids don't need to be fixed. Most of the kids we serve are black or brown. And we serve all youth, to be clear. But when we think about just that little girl who, with those bright eyes, who just hasn't seen the beach. I just left a group of about 100 littles And just hearing them, hearing little sister, I'm going to call it to some little sister Emery that said, I'm the baby in the family. My mama's got 5 kids, but I met her mama. And her mama said, she got a scholarship, a full ride scholarship from Carnival.
Wow.
But I met her mama and we were in a suite at the Miami Heat, courtesy of Carnival in the Heat. And her mama said, I used to clean this suite. And now my baby girl's getting a scholarship in the suite.
Word. Wow.
That's what I'm talking about.
I don't know. It's life is a circle.
Life is a circle. You should keep that circle thing. Right? That looks good on you.
I do have this circle
That looks good on you.
I love my logo, by the way. Look at the logo.
There's no doubt. I love the colors
S.
too.
Do you see the S? It's hanging off the C.
It's just because it's all connected.
Can I just tell you, I'm very embarrassed to say this as a person who owns an ad agency, and this has been my logo for a year and a half. I just saw that S with the C just like yesterday.
This is an organic conversation.
Like yesterday.
But that's
and we're so over time, so we gotta go.
Okay.
Anyway, what were you gonna ask me?
No, I wasn't going to make a statement. The S and the C, it's all connected.
It is all
just like bigs and littles.
Just like bigs and littles. Life is a circle.
Life is a circle.
So we're gonna come back. I want to come back with one of your, like a big and a little.
Oh, I love that.
Like literally a big and a little.
There you go.
And have this conversation. We just have to figure out the school part.
We can do that.
Yeah. We do it over the summer because then they're not
anytime, year-round programming.
Sorry. All right, we're gonna do that. Well, thank you, Gail Nelson, named after a very famous Black football player star.
Who was a Kappa.
Brilliant Kappa, yo, pretty boys.
That's right. Yes, we are.
All right. Well, thank you, Gail.
My pleasure.
Bye.